I think you might have to turn it up. Is anybody young there? Name that movie. Let's Rock is the 9th studio album released by the Black Keys. I'll admit right off the bat, this isn't a band I really listen to that much at all. I have heard some of their music in the earlier 2010s when others happened to be playing it, and I was like, oh yeah, I think that's the Black Keys. That's basically how and when I would have listened to them. And despite the pretty cool album cover, I'm not sure if I would have listened and reviewed this album without one of my fellow YouTube reviewers and buddies, Ryan from True North Reviews, having been super excited for this album release, that I decided, alright, what the heck, let me see if I can get something out of it as well. And to my surprise, this album has a lot of musical depth to it that I did not anticipate. When people try to talk about classic rock versus whatever it is that we play nowadays, the Black Keys are doing a better job at preserving that. I'm not saying they're exactly classic rock, but you gotta give them props. They're doing a much better job than a lot of other rock bands, alternative bands that are trying to make a name for themselves these days, and they can actually get their music out there to a larger audience, and they enjoy it. Obviously, they've been doing it for a while now, and hey, 9 albums in, you're doing something right. The mood and setting that I felt while listening to this album was kind of like a middle America daily grind kind of vibe. It also feels like it would be appropriate for indie movies. I kind of feel like I understand that since I help with the Sundance Film Festival in Utah at my work. I don't feel like I would have all of the great words to be able to describe each sound. Some of the songs I do feel like kind of flow well together when they transition from one song to another, and I can tell the difference between each song, but it all does have a very similar mood and vibe to it, so it's up to you to try and decide which ones you think stand out to you for the most part throughout this album. I did note which ones I thought caught my ears' attention a little bit more. Personally, I only feel like I really want to highlight one with my little clips, and that's the song Fire With Me. The guitar just goes off. And the sound is captivating, especially for a crowd. Very crowd captivating. Other songs in here I feel like I would probably mention. The first song, Shine a Little Light. Low High is pretty good. Go, Sit Around and Miss You. Under the Gun. There aren't many songs on here I have much of a problem with. Little details here and there, you know, just nitpicks. I feel like this is one of those albums where I literally feel like I will listen to it beginning to end when I make that decision to re-listen to it. It's not the sound that I would listen to often, but it did captivate me, especially the first time. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get into this. Second time around, felt kind of the same way, but I was definitely focusing more on how I wanted to rate this one, so it wasn't exactly the same experience. If any of you are Black Keys fans, I would like to know what you think of this album along with the others. I do want to put a link for Ryan's review from True North Reviews down below. He also did a review of all 9 albums, ranking them from worst to best, and I found myself being entertained by that video. I'll link that one down below. I don't usually do this very often, but because this is one that I feel like you might get a little bit more out of watching his reviews, I feel like that's what I should do in this instance. I have my thoughts. I like what I heard, and I don't feel like I can really describe the music in the best way as Ryan kind of had. So if you do want to get more depth of a review, go to him. I'm sorry I don't feel like I have it for you here. I have my preferences, and that's what I want to share. And I guess, yeah, I'll share with you my grade and final thoughts. So, after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 98%, creativity 94%, expression and lyrics 98%, I'm going to give this album a yeah. I guarantee everyone can find a song on here that they can connect with. I don't feel like this is music that is kind of geared toward a higher or lower class. I feel like everyone can kind of meet in a center point that can connect with at least one of the songs. And maybe it is the general mood of the album. I challenge any of you that think that you will not like this album to just give it a try and let me know if you can think of a few songs that stood out to you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.